Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend where, oh no, Red's trying to win the game, everybody get him! And definitely just ignore what I'm doing, please. Gosh, I hope so. So, the eastern side of the continent has at this point been scoured of life. Is there a place that it makes more sense that we could move our Urkin? I guess not really. There's Titan Bones over here. And actually in Hendwin as well, but we would never pull enough Titan Bones to actually run a booster. Is there Titan Bone on the market? Oh, there's enough Titan Bones on the market to just run a booster right now. I guess I should probably do that. That seems like a good idea. It's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money, like, it's not too much for us to do it. Yeah, wow, that's very cool. Okay, 50% bonus industry in all of our cities. See this right here. This is how you deal with your approval levels. Just run all of the boosters simultaneously. That'll fix it. Okay, so plus 50% industry everywhere. That's obviously very good news for us. And it sure does seem like there's a lot of territory getting cleared. There's a lot of hostility, a lot of things running around being aggressive. And for the moment, I'm everybody's friend. We're just gonna hope that we can keep it that way. Oh, hey, winter. Okay. I do want to grab some pearls, obviously. I'm not too torn up about our faction quest. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have this army run this way. Then, yeah, scoot down to this road. There we go. Grab as much as we can, as quickly as we can. What is this? Cold War from... Why did you even ask me for peace, then? Yes. Right? Purple's a total non-factor. That's just free resources. The grass silk has run out. It does take a bit. We get 35 grass silk every 10 turns. No, 40. We have a little bit more than that. So we cannot keep it up all of the time, but it's still doing good work for us. Madinav. Can we build another burrow here? We cannot. We need population. Well, you know what we can do is build an Imperial News Network. And also level up our friend Ululani Rawi. Okay, so we have a lot of money. What do we want to spend it on? Also, where am I going for... Yeah, I'm not too worried about our faction quest at this point. I guess let's plan to go grab these pearls and then swing down to grab these, and then we'll get the stuff that's more like in the center of the Empire. And I guess we don't really have a ton else to do this turn except for just buying stuff out. Well, get me an arts council. Let's go out and purchase ourselves an arts council. And then... do I want to buy anything else? How many turns are we at on these pillars? Oh, okay. Let's stop paying money for things. Have about 5k to work with next turn to lay down a new set of pillars. I didn't realize we were so close. All right, so next turn, we're finishing the difference engine technology, and then it's going to get a little hostile, is my suspicion. Oh, shoot, right. If we're not at peace with Brown... Oh, well, our borders are still closed to them, though, right? I just want to make sure Fakir is safe. Yeah, okay. The roving clans are pushing on a dust victory, but they're not going to get there anywhere near fast enough. Marvelous armor for that's a terrible idea. Okay. zoom down here and grab that. Yeah, Tiden should probably build, like, there are still some science buildings that are worth building. Oh, an Abbey of Anomalies. That does seem like a good idea. Probably over top of the thing that gives 13 science, right? I guess this doubles the science on this and also gives me another tile. Yeah, that's better. And this does level up this district as well. And then after that, you know, troops and stuff. Still gonna need more troops. Alright, so we're gonna lay down our pillars in just a moment here. I should probably not bought that out, but whatever. So let me make sure that where do we want to put down the next burrow? Right here seems pretty strong. It gets us a lot of additional tiles. You're already level 2. Yeah. Okay. So now, pillars. Lots and lots of science pillars. And I am willing and able to sell a bunch of stuff. We have things to sell in order to maximize our pillar output. So we can do something here. Zoparusk is a pretty good one. Yeah, put down a couple of pillars at Zoparusk. Slick definitely should have some. Did that even... There we go. It's getting a little hitchy. 900 for the next pillar. We can make that happen. 900 we can have. It turns out this is not worth anything at all. Is wine valuable? No, wine is also bottomed out. There's just a ton of... There are some resources that there's just a huge amount of... Oh, hey. Oh, hey. It's the red sang. Give me some of that. Getting distracted. That's not what I was on this screen to do. Yep. Mithrite demand also bottomed out, but still better. 900, right? I guess we can sell some of this too. So yeah, we're probably not getting another pillar after this one. Total science output, 9328. Okay. So lots of important science buildings still getting finished all the time in the Empire. Like, that number is still trending upward in a pretty serious way. Let's take a quick look at the diplomatic situation before we move forward here. So purple's still barely in the game. Blue will probably never be actually eliminated. I can't imagine anybody putting forth the effort. But they're just going to hang out completely irrelevantly. Red is filling in space. So green's at war with brown and the necrophages. Red has managed to get themselves back to just being neutral with everybody except me. Alright, blue's got some friends over here. Purple's got just the cult, and the cult seems to be totally kicking their ass. Pink is neutral with absolutely everyone, and I can't understand how they've managed to maintain it. And the necrophages are really not... They're really just not that at war, which is wild. Wait, does this yield still not have the spy protection building? It doesn't. Okay, we gotta fix that. Can't be having spies ruining my everything. Doesn't have Imperial... Boy, yeah. Okay. We got lots of problems. Alright, so there's my victory notification. Sure. Anyway, Resigo is definitely building up toward that. Lots and lots of stuff happened this level, or this turn. Okay, Zarcha Agenal has capped that out, so the next thing to do, I guess, is go through the middle here toward Inspirational Leader, but the odds that we will get a point in Inspirational Leader before the end of the game are basically 0. Mining Authority is probably not the right move. I might honestly let's just take Dust Trickery. Again, we're not going to make it to Inspirational Leader. We may as well do the thing we can do. All right, so the difference engine is live. Big science boost. 19,000 science per turn. How's it going? So, +5 citizens in every city versus big combat stats versus build soldiers faster, I think is where we're at. I don't think Dust or Influence are realistically on the table. Obviously, Dust also allows us to get soldiers faster, but the conversion rate from Dust to Gears is still pretty bad. Like, you're definitely better off just doing it with Industry. So it's got to be this, right? Wow, 5 turns. And that's without me having moved people into science in most of the cities, which is a thing that is absolutely going to happen. Because now it is time to engage the engine. Everybody knows we're winning, and we need to get from here to there as fast as possible. Also, 10% science boost for the capital. Hooray! It's pretty cheap. Yeah, let's just get that done. All right, so the cities. First things first. Lioneth, absolutely everybody moves over. That's another almost 1,000 science right there. This city, probably I want it to finish its Imperial News Network. We'll buy out the Imperial News Network in Skyen and then bump everybody over onto that. Buy the one in Zoparusk out and everybody jumps over as well. In Tinen might be a place where we want to maintain industry because it's one of it's part of our troop production triangle, like Tinen and Slick and Rondaria. But in most other places, we want to move over. Onderin's already on it, and we may as well spend 167 dust. The Trader's Lottery is important to complete in Isield. Isield's really, I think, not ready to move over. I'm still going to move people over. It's only a few hundred extra science, but it all matters. Remarkably, that did not change the number of turns on self-driving plows at all. But, it's more overflow toward the next thing. We are at a point now where, single turns may end up mattering because we're going to get attacked, and hopefully we're pumping out these military units fast enough that our military score is rising on the chart enough to make people a little bit nervous about attacking us. Remember, they don't have good information about what we have militarily. All they have is that chart and if they can see our garrison values, that information. So they may not know that they could beat us if it is indeed the case that they can beat us, which I imagine it probably is for almost all of them. And my hope was that thanks to Red putting out notifications and also just kind of everything happening everywhere, my hope was that most people would be too busy. They would have gotten involved in things and not felt that they could pull away to attack me immediately. Hopefully they feel like they have to finish whatever they're doing. Okay, Rondaria can start grabbing bonus science again. Tinu the Chosen shall finish the Will of Akili. Ozek as well. Okay. Okay, that was almost 1,000 science right there, just from upgrades. So, oh, yeah, for sure this. Okay, we're getting spied. Target Governor level 4 in Rondaria, and Target Governor level 3 in Madinov, but we drove out the spy in Madinov. Well, I do not want to do a roundup in Rondaria. I think that will be counterproductive. Oh, I'm being sieged by an army that is pretending to be made of neutrals, but that we obviously know better. And they just attacked. They just went right at it. Now, the loss of Tinan would not necessarily mean very much to us, if it is indeed lost, and it looks like it could be. But yeah, here comes the privateer nonsense. So what do we actually have? Okay. Yeah, the loss of Tinan would suck, but it doesn't necessarily change our science output that much. Part of playing defensively is just like making the battle be really slow. Make it take the most turns that it possibly can. And remember, we got spells, so we can do damage to enemies, we can increase the defense of our own units, and we can heal our stuff. Okay, so let's bomb out some of these enemies. I mean, do I wanna start by doing damage in the backfield? Their units have so much health that actually it's maybe not even, I guess given the cost of these things, it's worth doing it because this is an irrelevant amount of dust. But yeah, their units have so much health that there's no way we can possibly spell them down. So you're going to move here and grab that guy. You're going to move here and grab that guy. And I guess we're going to cast because there's no reason not to cast. But it might be better for us to cast like, yeah, like that, like stat affecting debuffs rather than direct damage or health. Because that stuff at least scales off of the numbers that our units actually have on them, which are a little bit more impressive. It just, I mean, it's not going to be feasible for us to kill these things. We literally can't do enough damage. So each spell has a cooldown. We can do a small amount of damage here. What is this, 80? Yeah, we could do 80 to all of these units, or we could do like this and 160 one of them and 80 just to others. Boy, 1,400 health, huh? It's not even worth doing. They would heal that off so quickly. So what'll this be, like the 4th time Tienen has been burned down? I'm going to start maneuvering a little bit here with the hopes of dragging out the battle a little bit while we wait for reinforcements to show up. Keep trying to just move the map around and clicking outside the battle. Sorry about the interruption to the battle music. I guess we want to move to like here and keep shooting, and that spell is still active, unfortunately. Yeah, the damage spells just don't do anything, and the healing spell doesn't heal enough for it to be worthwhile. It's like a single unit's attack. So yeah, we're not going to be able to maintain. Well, we're going to have our forces just drawn up together a little bit better then. God, all of that focus fire, and we're like halfway through one unit's health. Okay. So that gets burned to the ground. It's a lot of resources. It's a lot of resources that we just lost. Alright, fall back to Rondaria. Rondaria and Slick need to be producing more units. So we're going to lose this Yeld as well. There's not really anything we can do about that realistically. Apparently we're going to have to fortify the places that we can hold because the AI is being incredibly aggressive. Much more, I feel like this game I'm seeing much more AI aggression than I have ever seen with the privateer armies. Like way, way, way more. Alright, so you are gonna have to grab these pearls on the way back home, basically. This army needs to report to the north immediately. Probably we just want to build another burrow. Yeah, that was a pretty developed city. That hurts. I thought for sure we'd have like a little bit more time than that. All right, let's try to get ourselves prepped for that to happen again. And yeah, we're definitely taking this next. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the queue as soon as it will let me click. Don't know what the hell that yellow flagged army was doing in my territory, but let's be done with that. Okay, so the dies are back up. This is back up. That's back up. It does only cost us 45 resources to run a booster now, so, you know, there's your upside. They're going to go settle that. I don't see how putting down a city on turn 110 is going to help you, but I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to try to talk you out of doing a thing that I think is a bad idea. Just go ahead and spend resources on that. Pink is immediately putting up fungal growths as well. What an annoying thing for them to do. I'm glad that that's not my problem. So I am going to run this army to like here, I think, where they could potentially participate in a defense of Isield if they needed to. Exid, take this. Sarcha, take this. Hooray! Fortification for the capital, just in case it comes to that. And I think we want our Urkin to end up like hereabouts. This gives us some nice like zone defensive coverage. Lioneth could create another burrow, and probably should create another burrow. Let's see. You have 2 burrows adjacent to you already, so we could maybe build out in such a way as to take advantage of that. Get ourselves another level up. And I think I mostly want to put my dust into rushing troops at this point, for probably obvious reasons. So... yeah, that's probably worth putting down, right? How many, what's the population of the city? 10? Okay, it would be better to put it down on the Wizard Stone, but we don't have enough population to build all the way out to the Wizard Stone. So that's cheap enough that we can just throw that down so that we can be producing while we're working here. And then probably the governors of the frontline cities need to have real equipment as well. At the very least, they need to be maxed out on dust. So let's see, your initiative's not great, but like clearly we're playing against a strategy that is very archer heavy, and so shields are going to be important. Personal health boost, army health boost. Yeah, like that stuff at the very least. Are we going to be able to defend Wayrasigo here? I honestly don't know. The city is pretty far away from everything else. So do I want it? Oh, you can have wands, huh? Maybe I want you to have a wand instead of a bow? 18 attack, 36 damage. The actual damage potential is not that different, but unsteady lowers the attack of enemies. Ah, it is a two-handed. It's a two-handed mage wand. Well, I probably do want to have a shield. I feel that pretty strongly. Yeah, let's just do that for right now. Just all dust-based defenses. And I guess, actually, I should run... Okay, let's take a Berdeki and a Zealot. Run them out to this army. The army should definitely be full. Okay. Yep, and then produce units. The lack of vision during the winter is definitely scary. Yeah, sadly, like, if T10 didn't have time to build its own garrison, there was really no way we were going to be able to defend it, right? Because it's so far north. So what did we lose? We lost a dye extractor, we lost Hyperium and Mithrite, which is not awesome, but honestly, it's not that bad. Okay, I don't know what you are, but get... absolutely not. Madanav needs new ideas. Let's see. Let's build this and jump people over to science here. nobody's allowed through the border now. Unfortunately, there's just nothing you can do about neutrals, you know? Did I... Oh, you gained XP from the battle, actually. You gained a level from that battle. Weird. Hey, Red, how's it going? Just having a look around, are we? A likely story. I know I said I want to save my money mostly for troops, but like this actually does need to get done, and the city's never going to get it done otherwise. And then in Lioneth, we could also afford to equip one of these and 10 population city. So Slick is not on science. Isield is, but probably shouldn't be, for the moment at least. It's like, where's the next highest population city that is devoted to science? I think it's here. So you get the other book that we can afford. Let's make sure we have some tough infantry. Our infantry is nowhere near as tough as theirs, unfortunately. Part of the reason that those units have so much health is that the technology, the roving clan's technology that lets them do the privateer thing, I believe also doubles the health of their mercenaries. So that's a little scary, but they also have access to like a pretty limited number of mercenaries. There's only so many units you can buy from the marketplace at any time. You definitely can't run a full empire-wide army of troops that are that powerful. So it's not great for us, but it's not as bad as it might seem, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, 4 turns for the Serum of Iteru, which will definitely help. 50% life, 50% damage. Okay. Yep, that's Ululani Rowie finally poisoning out from the last thing. Mayhap we ban red from our territory. Because they sure do look like they're preparing for something, don't they? So this is very clearly Red's army, right? The way they're moving in concert with Red and everything. Banning Red from our territory will not ban them because they're not publicly a Red army. There's not... Spies can't reveal that kind of stuff, can they? No, there's no way to pin a privateer army to its owner. It is a shame. So we are tearing through the Serum of Iteru pretty quickly here. After Serum of Iteru, it's probably like Endless Alloys. At this point, it almost certainly doesn't matter what we take. These are just points toward finishing. I guess maybe we do the Dust, because then like we could, in theory, if an opportunity to build pillars comes up between the completion of this and the completion of that, we could get way more pillars. My suspicion is we're not actually that many turns in total from the end of this game. Just gotta stay smart here. Well, we're getting troops done in a real hurry. So I probably want to... Shouldn't you be retrofittable? Oh, I actually don't have the resources. Wild. That's fixable. This is not an expensive one. I'm thinking like, do we pop out? Because I don't think that the privateer army will receive reinforcements from the red armies. I'm pretty sure. So we could just pop the units out of these cities and have at them and try to overwhelm them. We're gonna take a lot of damage fighting them though. I think I am gonna close my borders on red. We are 7 turns from... We're 7 turns from the next Empire plan, and I'm just like, we have a huge amount of influence. We probably don't have to worry about this at all. Something like that would be okay. Which, honestly, we may be able to do without even... Yeah. Yeah, I think we are going to be able to do that without even having to devote any extra resources to influence. So that's fun. That's cool. I'm going to hit end turn here. We're going to try to... I gotta be careful because I want to be in position to respond to this army's movements no matter where it goes, but I also definitely don't want to let it attack me for free in a position where I don't have a ton of backup. It's a tricky balance. I need to be aggressive without making myself vulnerable. Oh, hey, look at that. The cat's paw, the black spot rather, shows on that army, even though it's not supposed to be public knowledge that it's reds. Ban me from the market. Okay, that hurts. That's not great for me. I guess I should have known. My hope is that we have now created such a large enough army that red is less inclined to test me. Not necessarily that we have constructed an army such that they cannot beat us in combat, but they are discouraged from even attempting it. Okay. Here, yep, build more troops. Basically challenging me to start something. And you know what I would like to do right now is go to the market and purchase a hero for this second army. We do have a loose hero. Actually, apparently we have, I forgot to reinstall Ululani. That's not the city. There we go. Yeah, we do have a loose Wayrasigo, who I guess can just be the commander of this army. It's not really spec'd for it, but... Let's go... Dust Gear. We can't really... Yeah. I can't really give him anything other than Dust Gear. Okay. So the units under your command have okay stats. 84 damage is tough. Just like, you know, when somebody has 826 hit points, a unit with 84 damage, even under entirely optimal circumstances, has to hit them such a large number of times. These two non-big Ateshi zealots in this army are really weighing us down. I don't think I honestly don't think I am going to attack them. I think I'm just gonna let them pillage that. Yeah, red is exerting a lot of pressure on the game, but at least they're being a little bit respectful of me. I mean, I say that as they're pillaging a thing directly in front of me. But it sort of suggests that they don't think it's a good idea to be more aggressive. The fact that they cannot declare war on us, obviously, is a big deal, and is probably the only thing that's keeping us in this game. And they should have thought of that when they picked that faction. Big error on their part. I am, for the moment, just gonna sit here and watch that happen, I guess. Like, I don't really... Is attacking a good idea? We have a lot of units in total. They don't have much in the way of range. They have a couple of Tedekes who are shortish ranged. Yeah, I don't think we're fighting them. This turn, I get to swap out my 2 bad zealots with 2 good zealots, which is certainly going to help. And you know, when that serum gets finished, that will also be very helpful. A lot of stuff is happening right now. So many notifications. We'll check on those in just a moment. All right, they did in fact pillage, and I'm embarrassed. Oh hey, Petrov Judith finally got to the good stuff in her tree. Argbad Buz Valhalla, I guess, can start building toward the middle here. This particular exit, I guess, is just getting Impassioned Preacher. Titan Bones booster is out, and we will not be able to get another one going. Cold War from purple doesn't seem like a sensible thing to do at all. Heroes Archa Atenal has been captured by an enemy empire. I might gently disagree. They just ran into the capital and kidnapped the governor in a way that there was nothing I could do about. Okay. Pink doesn't even have a way of getting vision of that. Like, this did not happen. Give me back my governor. Right? How would Pink even do that? How would they get a spy into Lioneth at this point in the game? I don't know. That's real fishy. Well, probably for the best we produce some more military units. That's my feeling. All right, let's update the crappy zealot design because it looks like we've run through our strategics. And we will continue to get them, but also we do need to continue making units in the meantime. Okay, so all that stuff's happening. What do we want to do with our dust? Probably here we just continue building. Yeah, I mean, that levels up a district. It's fine. And districts are cheap enough. Like, I definitely am less interested in buying out bad troops. Maybe 2475. Okay. Two turns left on the pillars. I think we might just save our money from here. Not too pleased with having lost vision of that privateer army. Yeah, they're just gone, I guess. But at least now Red has seen us mobilize troops. They know that we have stuff, and hopefully that'll make them a little bit more reluctant to push in. We have our serum real soon here. And that should make them even more reluctant to push in. Gosh, I hope. All right, so many things. Oh, luxury boosters are bad now. Great. I guess the really good news there is that we do in fact have I guess none of the things none of her skill points can be relevant. The things that we're most reliant on, that is the wine and the moonleaf, we both accumulate at a rate greater than we have to. So we should still be able to run those even without being able to purchase excess from the market and everything. So this is Lioneth. Lioneth doesn't really have anything that's worth building, honestly. Oh, we never built our... Never built my center for mineralogy. I mean, obviously this is not like the population working science. It's not where the majority of the science is coming from, but still, that's a thing I intended to do right before we finished Difference Engine, and I done goofed. All right, and then we'll hold off dust from there. I do want to get that done as quickly as possible. Skyin gets to have another district, and that's another level up. Madanav troops. They produce troops at a pace. That's a rate. You can't say those aren't numbers. I've seen numbers before. These are like them. These are them. All right, so still gaining science output, which is good news. Dust-driven distillery in 4. Time to put down as many pillars as I can. I gotta admit, I'm embarrassed. Like, we knew about the privateer thing, and I am embarrassed that I lost the city to it immediately. Like, I just really thought we'd have a little bit more time to muster. And I don't know why I thought that. We knew that they existed. All right, so that's another victory notification for us. We are now probably in the neighborhood of, you know, like 10 turns to victory. I do notice that it went up from 4 turns to 5 turns, and I'm not entirely sure why. It probably had not recalculated the new tech costs for the fact that we had a technology, I guess. It's probably the only thing that makes sense. This is not a valuable thing to do because the next Empire plan is going to be in just a second here, so I guess just work on unit. Work on unit. And here, produce more troop. Yeah, give me more big Z's. I do love a big Z. A big Z is like a cool S, you know? There's just something about it that's very viscerally satisfying. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. I'm just filling space while my brain is working overtime trying to make sure I've covered all the angles here. Have I? Are we good? I honestly don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know how to know that. I don't suppose it's worth doing that. Yeah, I guess just build me a normal Ateshi Zealot. Okay, so we have 10. Again, we are at 10 approval here, or 10 titanium. So, Ululani definitely doesn't have the book yet. Let's get Ululani a book. And then let's put down Many pillars. Oh, right. The ending of the pillars probably has something to do with the fact that it went from 4 turns to 5 turns to finish this tech. I bet that is a factor. These pillars are like, you know, they're worth a little something. So we're just really going to flood Lioneth. All of the places around Lioneth that are even remotely good. Zoparusk gets here and here at the very least. There's Dust-Driven Distillery back down to 4 turns. We're not going to be able to get it down to 3. But again, like, overflow matters because, you know, there is one more tech. And then Slick, right. Slick is a good place to put him. It's just very dense. It's a very dense city. The pillar didn't actually go down. There it is. No? The pillar... Ah, it's not grayed out, but we do not have the money. And I don't have access to the damn market. So I guess that's all the pillars we're putting down. Total science output, 26,000. Acceptable. That's like totally fine. All right, everybody just keep producing military units so that if those privateers come across the border again, we're ready. And the necrophages are clearly busy. Like, some of their stuff is on fire, so I'm assuming what's happened with the necrophages is they're getting harassed by the privateers. Right, like Red is messing with them as well. Probably, we just presented a little bit of resistance, and the necrophages had a sort of a softer target over here, and so they just went right for it. Yep, never let the Moonleaf end. That's very important. We're about to have an eclipse. So I don't want to spoil my defensive positioning too much, but I do want to loot ruins when the eclipse starts. Where else do we have here? If I zoom out like this, that is a temple ruin. I mean, that's probably, we can rely on our other character to get that. I know there's a bunch of temple ruins down here that are all close together. I'm just really reluctant to move an army down there. Whatever. They'll get back up quickly. Yeah, we can make the return trip all at once. It's fine. All in one turn, I mean. You continue to produce units. Okay. Yeah, if the player in Red's position was anybody other than the roving clans, I think that there is no doubt that we would already be at war with them. And I'm a little surprised about... you. Are you just, like, really otherwise occupied? Their military is actually less powerful than ours. They're having a really hard time maintaining a force. I think Red is like world policing. They're just running around beating people up with their terrifying mercenary army in a way that like nobody can really stop. And that's making the world much, much safer for me to win. Seems like a little bit of an oversight on their part, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to try to quickly loot a bunch of ruins and then run our armies back into proper defensive positions. Come on. Come on. Let the turn properly begin here. So many sounds, so many noises all at once. Okay, it doesn't look like Red's trying any shenanigans. The dust blizzards, I suppose, could be giving them cover, but I don't think that's happening. Please? Give me that. There we go. Oh, hey, pearls. Okay, grab that. Live neutral villages. I think that because the necrophages have upset the Morgar so much, the Morgar are cat's pawing all their villages back to life, which is like an incredibly annoying thing to do. It's not actually like very dangerous, but it diverts attention in a way that's really useful to me. It's very good for me that the necrophages are a little confused right now. All right, Rondaria. Yeah, we know there's a person in Rondaria. The thing is, I just don't want to. I don't want to run the roundup. But maybe I should. I can't believe they survived twice. So from that we got 40 Palladian, the delivering staff, which I don't know what that is. Okay, wow. Wow, that's a good staff. Not really a staff kind of force right now. Like, our combat heroes are not generally staff users, but that's pretty cool. 30 Mithrite, that's fun. 30 Hyperium is cool. Okay, wow, we have a lot of Hyperium. If you give me stats for my units, I will allow you to use the market. Probably not, right? Because if we're gonna lose militarily to anybody, it's those units, which would seem very silly to give them stats. That being the case, I want access to the market, but I don't want it that badly. So okay, you'll grab that. You'll run like back up here. All right, just making sure we're all dialed in for next turn. Yeah, we may as well, right? And then back to units. Or build a burrow here, and then back to units. Get me a Burdeki. Yeah, I mean, the city's pumping them out pretty fast. We have an actual functional military that is at least competitive with every player in the game who is able to declare war. Which is good enough. So, dust. What is dust going to be valuable for at this point? Buying out troops is no longer seeming quite so important. Do we have arts councils in all of our important cities? No, okay, that's a thing. That's a thing we could spend dust on meaningfully. Wow, I'm having a hell of a hard time doing it though. There we go. Yeah, I think we pass. We probably do not have to lay down pillars again. So I am just gonna, I suppose we could lay down a bunch of pillars every turn, just run all of our dust out like that. I'm not 100% certain that doing so is going to get us even a single turn off of our next research though, so I'm a little leery of spending a lot of resources in that way when those resources could go toward a lot of military units, which are not going to be super effective, but are probably going to have a bigger effect on the game than effectively nothing, right? All right, so let's say we do this. Can't quite get to plus 50% life. So that's 3,200 by itself. Thing is, I don't know that we do need the building buyout reduction. We're not really buying out buildings that much anymore. I am going to do that. Skyen can just very slowly build an arts council. The city is so small that it's hard to even know if it would be worth it to build real buildings here. So everybody go grab the things that I told you to grab. I guess we can just go grab this ruin too. It's right on the edge of their territory. God, look at this. They want to kill me so badly. And I mean, like, justifiably. It would be very good for them were I to die. Just can't quite seem to find the button. Alright, so this is victory tech number 4 going down this time. Alright, 4 turns. So at this point, if somebody was going to make a last-ditch desperate attack on us, they'd have to be very fast. Their units would have to get a lot of stuff done very quickly. Is it me? Nope, it's Pink. Pink is being such an annoyance to everyone. Ah. Right before his unit got there, too. That's going to get me declared war on. That was the final straw right there. Alright, so produce me a Harmonite guy. I would like some of those guys, please. And then, I mean, do I think it's going to matter? No, I don't. I really actually don't. Let's keep producing military units so that we have a nice distributed force that can respond quickly to problems. And in theory, just mashing end turn here is probably like pretty close to optimal play. But remember, it's gonna take a while for the AI to process their turns. So a little bit of like fiddling around and queuing up units in cities is not going to make a big difference in any way. I should have run a spy all the way over to Pink's territory. We knew that Pink was being a problem. Like after the green city that we had, Arla Saborian, burned down, I should have just sent somebody out, like sailed all the way over to Pink's border. I guess I can't really do that though, can I? I don't think I ever got sailing tech. Because like we've extremely never needed it. And everybody has their borders close to me, so actually I probably couldn't have. I probably could not have gotten to Pink's territory. The roving clans have managed to push up to about 65%. Obviously not a big deal. But they're doing it. It's not going to be that many more turns before they would win the game. Like they are really pushing. It's just unfortunately they got caught in an internal versus internal victory type struggle that they are not able to win. You know what? Sure. I can't imagine it taking a turn off, but it's a big building. And like I said, we don't buy out buildings anymore, so we don't even need the discount. Alright, that one's locked by a quest, so yeah, okay. Let us continue. Yeah, you can see most of the AI players are still playing. So, we can take a moment here and have a look at the old charts, just see how things is going. Notice that our overall score is very low, and it has not been climbing as we are completing victory techs. That seems very strange to me. I think the luxury boosters are more expensive. Event just ended, which is nice. Sadly, not going to get us where we're going on Dust Orchid, because we lost one of our sources of Dust Orchid, is why it's all of a sudden so hard to run that booster. Right? Wasn't there a Dust Orchid in Tinen? Maybe I'm misremembering. No, there totally wasn't. We've never been able to run the Dust Orchid full time. That's right. There are so many resources, you know, I start to get them confused a little bit here and there, especially at the end of an extremely long day. No, that seems like suicide. Will you sacrifice your entire empire, if I give you a very small amount of luxury resources? I mean, I guess it's not that small of an amount, but certainly not that good of a luxury resource. I may as well put a couple more of you in the queue. Did I miss one? Oh, Madanav, of course, the one. You know, the only one that's not currently on the screen is probably the one that I didn't do. Anyway, the chart that I was most interested in really was just military strength. Okay, they have pushed past us. The necrophages could, in theory, get aggressive sometimes. Obviously, at this point, it's going to be too late to matter. They are losing forces at the same time Brown is losing forces, which suggests that those two are at war, which does not seem, that seems counterproductive to me. The little mouse over thing with the button on it doesn't appear until it's actually the turn. Nope, you're not at war with Brown. Maybe you're both just getting beat up by Red at the same time or something. Or you know what? There's a bunch of neutral territory over there. They don't have to be at war with each other. Okay, yes. They're going to declare war on me. Excuse me. You know that my borders are closed to you, right? Yep. Oh, maybe this whole army is stealthed? Ah, yes, he had Ghost Force. So you can move around inside someone's borders, even if their army, even if their land is close to you, as long as they can't see you. But now that now that he's made himself visible to us, his army's going to get bounced out at the beginning of the next turn. That's like a real bad move. Don't move your army like that when this is the case. Very strange decision making. Out of curiosity, what do your troop stats look like? 1,000 health, 235 attack. Jesus. Why are you so powerful? Army health boost up, but Army boost 2 is like a pretty small stat boost to a lot of different stats. It is not clear to me why they are so powerful. That seems a little... I mean, they were high level. You know what? That's probably all it is like their units were mostly level 10, whereas a lot of our units are like level 6. They probably have a lot of the XP building technologies, which is... That's fine. That's the thing you're allowed to do. I don't necessarily endorse it. Well, Red's at 3 victory technologies. Look out. And so you can see, like, the victory pacing here. Red's doing very well. This is not a situation where we won because the AI was really bad and slow. They are putting up a legitimate victory race here. We just did a lot better on our own internal stuff for a couple of reasons, not least of which is just that this time we got a lot luckier with the types of luxury resources and the quantities of resources we were able to get thanks to the Drogeshi. Because last time we did not have really very good luxuries at all, but we certainly didn't have access to Moonleaf. And I don't think we were having some happiness problems for a lot longer, because this game we had very early wine. And that stuff adds up, especially like early game advantages. All 4X games are reinforcing resource loops. So early game advantages, 10 of a resource in the early game, ends up being worth like massively exponentially more than 10 of a resource in the late game. And with that, I do believe we did all the science, and somehow that's it's a little abstract how that results in a victory. It's not necessarily off the table that we just built a spaceship, although it is worth noting that there is a more explicit spaceship victory in the game, which is finishing the actual victory quest. But hey, look at that. I finally did it. Third try. Okay, game's struggling to get me to the score screen a little bit here, unloading things. I think it probably part of the problem is that a lot of the AI players have not actually finished their turns. But yeah, you can see the third column on that table down there is score. The game does not score very sensibly. I don't know exactly what all of the things that go into the equation are, but it for sure overvalues military units and particularly health on military units. That's why if there's a roving clans player in the game, they will almost always have a really dramatic score lead in the like mid to late game, because they just have the largest health worth of units, regardless of whether or not they're in position to actually be doing things. All right, I think we're not going to actually get to see our score screen. You know what? It's fine. We saw all of the graphs and stuff pretty recently. Actually, am I allowed to just click through to the thing up here? Yes. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just pull you all back from that screen. It turns out we can still access the in-game version of the graphs because the game has not properly ended yet. So here you can see military. The necrophages spiked up, but then fell back down to approximately our level of military. We were actually more powerful than green, in theory. Who knows if that actually would have translated to an ability to win a war or anything. While red was putting up numbers that are just fake, right? Those are not real. Territory goes into score pretty heavily. But as you can see, even though the necrophages had a ton of territory, it did not necessarily lead to them capping out score, because again, military health, way overvalued. Population, we weren't particularly high on. Research, we were actually like 5th in total number of technologies, but we were doing the hard, expensive ones. As you might imagine, the player with all the territories generating all the food. We're actually doing like a respectable job on industry, given that it was not like a primary focus or anything. Dust just kind of coming along for free. There it is. That's what the good stuff looks like. And then in the end, we did make it to 34% of the diplomatic victory. And yeah, like I said, red is already at 74%. So like, my guess is we are 5 turns away from red winning an economic victory. Maybe not even. They also finished the first stage of the victory quest. And who knows how many turns it was going to take them to finish doing the science stuff. I mean, their science value is not high enough to push through the text super fast. They were closer to a dust victory than they were to a science victory, that's for sure. Anyway, that's going to be it for us for today, and thank you all so much for watching. If you have any particular feelings about who we should play next, leave them below. I think I said people were very into Morgar last time. Maybe we'll do Morgar, or maybe if there's like an overwhelming amount of people wanting to see something else in the comments, maybe we'll do that instead. I don't know. I'm going to leave y'all in suspense so that you must come back tomorrow next time to resolve it. So when you do that, we'll be starting a new game as somebody. And we'll see you then.